Hi, I'm Sloan. Working as a forensic accountant means I deal with numbers all day, finding patterns in financial chaos. But nothing in my decade of experience prepared me for the pattern I'd uncover in my own family. My phone buzzed during a late night audit. Your father, he's gone, honey. They found him in his study. Aunt Grace's voice cracked. I gripped my desk, knuckles white. What do you mean, gone? They're saying suicide. A note, but something doesn't feel right. The world tilted sideways. Dad was the most stable person I knew, always smiling even when... My phone buzzed again. Mother. I let it go to voicemail. 3 more calls in rapid succession. Why aren't you answering your phone? Your father is dead and you're playing games. Get to the house now. Her voice sharp as broken glass. The police are already there. Grace was still on the line. Detective Blakely is handling it. She wants to talk to you. I grabbed my keys, hands shaking. The drive was a blur until Maya's car pulled up beside me at a red light. She must have left work the second she heard. You shouldn't be driving. Get in. The house was lit up like a Christmas tree. Detective Martinez met us at the yellow tape, her face carefully neutral. Miss Walker, I'm sorry for your loss. I have some questions about your father's recent behavior. He was fine. Happy even. He just booked a fishing trip for next month. And that insurance policy he changed last week? My head snapped up. What policy? Mother appeared, mascara perfect despite the tears. Sloan finally decided to show up? Your father needed you, and where were you? Mrs. Walker, Blakely cut in. Please stay inside while we process the scene. That's my husband in there. Her voice rose to that familiar pitch that always made me flinch. And that's exactly why we need space to work, Martinez said firmly. Maya squeezed my hand as Mother stormed back inside. Something's wrong, I whispered. Dad would never. The note mentioned financial troubles, Martinez said carefully. As a forensic accountant, maybe you could look at his records? He would have told me if there were problems. We had lunch last week. I stopped. There was something he'd tried to tell me, something about Mother and the house payments. What is it? Maya asked. He kept looking over his shoulder, said he had to be careful about... something. The memory was hazy, clouded by denial and disbelief. I'll need those exact details. Martinez pulled out her notebook. And Miss Walker, don't leave town. Something tells me we're going to need your expertise. I stared at the study window, where crime scene techs moved like shadows. Dad always said numbers tell stories. Now I had to find out what story they were telling about his death, and why my mother's perfect crying didn't reach her eyes. The morgue's fluorescent lights made everything look unreal. Dr. Reed looked up from his tablet, frowning. The angle's wrong for self-infliction? And these bruises here? They're defensive wounds. You're saying someone held him down? My voice sounded distant. Look at the toxicology report. Sleeping pills in his system. Your father never took sleeping pills, right? He couldn't. They interfered with his heart medication. My phone buzzed. Grace. Get to the house now. I found something in his old toolbox. Detective Blakely met me there. Mother was at another grief counseling session, her 3rd camera-ready appearance this week. It was behind a false bottom. Grace handed me a USB drive, hands trembling. He showed me where it was last month, made me promise to get it to you if anything happened. We huddled around my laptop. Dad's face filled the screen, tired but determined. If you're watching this, I'm probably dead. Diane's been tampering with my medication, replacing my heart pills with lookalikes. I've been keeping track, documenting everything. My stomach lurched. More videos played. Dad secretly recording Mother switching pills, making threatening comments, practicing her crying in the mirror. That explains the bruises, Blakely muttered. She probably forced the sleeping pills when he confronted her. There's more, Grace pointed at the screen. Financial records. The next file showed massive insurance policy changes. Mother's signature dated just days before Dad's death. $5 million all to her. Martinez was already on her phone. And look at these withdrawal patterns. Classic setup for an escape. I recognized the signs instantly. She's planning to run. The front door slammed. Mother stood there, designer grief outfit perfect as always. What a touching family gathering. Going through his things already? Cut the act. The words burst out before I could stop them. We saw the videos, the insurance forms, everything. Her face didn't change, but her eyes went cold. Videos can be edited. Pills can be misplaced. Grieving daughters can imagine all sorts of things. Save it for your Instagram followers. Grace stepped forward. We all know what you did to my brother. You always were jealous of our perfect life. Mother's laugh was brittle. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a widow support group meeting. So many people wanting to comfort me in my time of need. She swept out, but Martinez was already making calls. Get me surveillance on Diane Walker, and freeze those accounts now. My phone chimed. A message from Maya. Security footage from the pharmacy where Mother filled Dad's prescriptions. Got her. Martinez smiled grimly. The pharmacist remembered her specifically because she asked such detailed questions about how different medications interact with sleeping pills. I slumped against the wall, Dad's toolbox still open beside me. A note fell out, his handwriting shaky but clear. Sloan, you always said numbers tell stories. This is one story that needs to be told. I love you, sweetheart. Make sure she can't hurt anyone else. The evidence was mounting, but knowing Mother, she'd have one last performance planned. And this time, I'd make sure she had the audience she deserved. Check this out. Kevin from next door rewound his security footage. Your dad installed these cameras for me last month. Said something about wanting extra eyes on the street. The timestamp showed 2 a.m., 3 days before Dad's death. A figure in dark clothes slipped through our back gate. That's her walk. I'd recognize it anywhere. Grace leaned closer. The way she leads with her right shoulder, old field hockey injury she never shut up about. Wait, what's that in her hand? I pointed at the screen. Looks like a phone. She's filming something. Blakely squinted. Can we enhance this? Kevin tapped some keys. Your dad upgraded my whole system. Said I might need the extra resolution someday. The enhanced footage showed Mother filming through Dad's study window, checking her watch repeatedly. His medication schedule. The realization hit me. She was timing his doses. Grace grabbed my arm. That reminds me. 2 weeks ago, your father called me over to witness something. He made me watch him sort his pill organizer. Said he needed someone to verify he wasn't crazy. Look what just came in. Maya burst through the door, waving papers. Police reports from their old neighborhood. 3 domestic disturbance calls, all mysteriously dropped. And this? Martinez spread out more documents. Your mother's first husband. Didn't die of natural causes like she claimed. Case was reopened last year but went cold. My hands shook as I read. She got everything in that will, too. There's a pattern in these accounts. Maya pulled up spreadsheets on her tablet. Small withdrawals, building up offshore accounts. Started right after she changed his insurance policy. Classic Black Widow setup. Martinez nodded. But she got sloppy this time, too confident. A text lit up my phone. Mother. Darling, bringing casseroles to the grieving? That's so beneath you, especially when you should be preparing for the memorial tomorrow. The memorial? Grace went pale. All those people, all that sympathy. Her perfect audience. I scrolled through more texts. Look at this. She's invited every local news station, making it a whole production about domestic violence awareness. The irony would be amusing if it wasn't so twisted. Martinez was already making calls. Get me everything on the first husband's case, and I want those offshore accounts traced. Kevin spoke up. I've got more footage. Different nights, same routine. She was studying his schedule for weeks. Another text. Hope you're planning to speak at the memorial, dear. After all, what kind of daughter stays silent at her own father's funeral? Oh, I'll speak all right. I looked at the evidence spread across the table. I think it's time everyone heard exactly what kind of person you are, Mother. We'll need to coordinate with the DA. Martinez gathered the files. This needs to be handled carefully. She's expecting a show tomorrow. Grace squeezed my hand. Let's give her one she'll never forget. I stared at the security footage, at the calculating figure who thought she had everyone fooled. Dad always said the truth comes out in the numbers. Tomorrow, it comes out in front of everyone. The memorial service was packed. News cameras lined the back wall. Mother stood at the podium, dabbing her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. My beloved husband would want us to speak about domestic violence today. Tell them about the violence you used on him. I stood up, my voice carrying through the church. Tell them about the pills, the insurance policy, your first husband. The crowd gasped. Detective Martinez and her team emerged from the side doors. What nonsense is this? But her perfect mask was cracking. Diane Walker, you're under arrest for the murder of James Walker and the reopened case of Peter Thompson's death. She lunged for the side exit, but Kevin and 2 officers blocked her path. The handcuffs clicked, echoing through the shocked silence. 6 months later, I sat with D.A. Cohen preparing for the final trial day. Your testimony sealed it. The financial records, the videos, the pharmacy footage. But that security camera evidence was the knockout punch. Will she take a deal? Are you kidding? Blakely found 3 more suspicious deaths linked to her past, cold cases warming up fast. The courtroom fell silent as I approached the stand for my victim impact statement. Mother sat there, designer prison jumpsuit somehow pressed perfect, eyes still calculating. My father was brave enough to gather evidence, knowing she was poisoning him. Brave enough to create a trail she couldn't erase. His last act wasn't suicide. It was making sure she couldn't hurt anyone else. Objection! Speculation! Her new lawyer jumped up. Overruled. The judge's gavel cracked like thunder. The woman sitting there killed at least 2 men for money. She's not a grieving widow. She's a predator who thought she could fool everyone with perfect outfits and practiced tears. Mother finally lost her composure. I gave you everything. This is how you repay me? You gave me trauma. Dad gave me strength. Big difference. The jury took 2 hours. Guilty on all counts. Multiple life sentences? No possibility of parole? Grace hugged me as Mother was led away. I've got something for you. Maya handed me a letter. Dad's handwriting. Sloan, if you're reading this, you did it. You followed the evidence, just like I taught you. I'm sorry I couldn't fight her directly, but I knew you would connect the dots. You were always stronger than her. At the support group I started for survivors of domestic violence, Kevin helped install security systems. Grace ran the hotline. Martinez trained volunteers to spot warning signs. Your father would be proud. D.A. Cohen stopped by our first anniversary meeting. 4 convicted abusers, 20 saved lives, all because you spoke up. I touched Dad's old calculator, now my lucky charm. He always said numbers don't lie. Neither do daughters who finally find their voice. The phone rang. Another case. Another person needing help. Time to get back to work. After all, that's what Dad would do. When does seeking justice cross the line into revenge? Sloan exposed her mother at the memorial service, a place meant for grieving. Was she justified in choosing such a public moment, or did her need for vindication make her just as calculated as her mother? Some say private confrontation would have been more ethical. Others believe public exposure was the only way to prevent more victims. What's your take? If you were in Sloan's shoes, what would you have done differently? Maybe you've faced a similar choice between private and public justice. Share your experience in the comments. For more thought-provoking stories that explore the gray areas between right and wrong, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Drop a like if this story made you think twice about the price of justice. Let me know in the comments. What matters more? How you get justice, or that you get justice?